ready for another lesson?
Hello, listeners. It is Post-Pod Adam here coming at you. A little bit of forewarning before we get into the episode here. We did have some technical difficulties recording this week. Craig and Jirac, the software that we use for recording, they decided to, kind of bug out a little bit while we were recording last night. So I had to kind of piece this episode together through different audio files, but I think I did as good of a job as I could. So there are going to be a few word cuts there, and I just want to let you guys know if there's any weird audio issues, that's what you're looking at there. So yeah, without further ado, enjoy the episode. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. On today's episode, we have, let me pull up the show notes. That might help if that's the tab open on my screen. We have we have two news stories for you, some exciting news for some upcoming movies. And then no trailer talk today, new streaming. It is the last week of October. So it's a little bit lighter of a week. We'll get to what we're watching. And then our main review for the episode is going to be Trick 'R Treat from 2007.
Trick R Treat.
Trick 'R Treat.
I hate you.
Hey, man. I tried to find this movie with Siri on my Apple TV, and I said trick or treat about 4 or 5 times, and she just kept thinking I wanted a trick or treat joke or something, and she would not help me find it.
Well, it's because she's completely useless.
So I had to go to the fucking Apple TV app and just search Trick 'R Treat, and there she was.
Yeah, it had 5 names at one point.
Yeah.
I went through a bunch of name changes.
Yeah. I am your host, Adam Schwartz, and joining me today is Spooky Rev himself, Nathaniel Gingert.
Hello, listeners. How are you? Good.
How am I?
Great.
Or how are you listening? Okay.
I was talking to the listeners first, but now I don't want to know how you are. I was giving them time to respond.
Doing pretty good. It's had a busy weekend, and this Monday's been a chill day because it's snowing here currently, and it's been snowing all day, and it's cold and slushy out, and so it's just been one of those days where I stayed inside and just watched some movies. So I watched
for sure
Halloween, and I watched, I'll get to my what we're watching, but I had a movie that I had to watch for a class today that I very much enjoyed. So yeah.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yes, sir. Also joining me is Popcorn Ty.
Hey, what's going on? It's Popcorn Me.
Wearing his Green Bay Packers sweatshirt while watching the Bears game.
Baby. I actually don't have the Bears game on anymore.
Oh, what did you switch to?
Nothing. I'm just hanging out with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still Popcorn Ty? Are you more Pretzel Ty now? You've been very pretzel Ty.
I mean, I have been eating, pretzels. That's what happens when you bulk buy 8 bags from Target.
It was a deal, bro.
It's a good deal, and I love pretzels. So,
which pretzels?
Roll Gold, baby.
Oh, really?
Sticks.
Have you guys ever had the Dots pretzels?
Dots?
No, Dots.
Oh my God, I got to get you guys on these Dots pretzels, man.
So quick snack. I mean, are you guys more pretzel guys or trail mix guys?
Oh, if there's a mix
for a trail mix.
I'm all in on trail mix.
Oh, I'm down. Oh, yeah.
Sure. I'm over.
My go-to. I would say I personally buy pretzels for myself, but I'm always down for a good trail mix, man. Don't get it wrong.
I usually have some kind of bag of trail mix, or typically lately it's been granola.
Can't go wrong with that either. Yeah,
bro, there's this birthday cake granola, and it is just absolutely insane. First of all, my girlfriend so you can get it at Target, but my girlfriend and I have this obsession with anything that's birthday cake flavored.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, and it's so good.
All right, I'm about to check it out, man.
Yeah.
And that sultry voice over there, it's big silverback gorilla Cat Blake.
That is one hell of an animal, I'll tell you.
Dude, what a combination.
It's just snowballing, man. I can't remove any of it now. I love the silverback part.
Did the bear gorilla conversation make the episode?
Yeah, it did.
It
I
probably
The
think
whole thing, man. I put in like 9 minutes in the post credits.
But do you think
I was just like, hey,
it was
this is a
mixed
great
with
conversation.
a large feline? Do you think it would be the grizzly bear?
Are you talking about like a
Grizzly.
hybrid grizzly bear? Wait, a hybrid gorilla cheetah?
Or yeah, I
No, it
guess
couldn't be a
that's the-
cheetah.
Yeah, cheetah, lion, whatever you want to go with.
Dude, how would that even work? Like, what features does it get? You got to give me. Does it have like bear claws and
See, like what?
This was
cheetah legs?
this was our AP Bio project we had to do. We had to combine two animals and create like their nervous systems and everything.
In
I probably would've
in
lost my
AP
mind.
bio?
Yeah.
And what did you choose for the two animals you
I
wanted?
remember my AP classes being much harder than that.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Arizona education. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I guess, man.
I mean, it
Um,
explains the creativity that we have involved in this group.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
That's true, I suppose. We did a mantatros. It was
Man,
an
okay.
it was an
Manticore.
albatross and a manta ray
Manta ray.
combined. So
Oh,
it was like a flying manta ray.
That sounds
Manticore.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's
Manticore.
kind of dope though.
Yeah. But yeah. So
How was your week, Big Cat?
good, man. Good. Not too much going on last week or this past week, I guess. It's always weird
Mhm.
recording on a Monday when I say like last week and this past week.
Mhm.
Not bad. I was able to watch a handful of things this week.
That's
Got
good,
to
man.
2 movies that were requested from a gentleman you know by the name of Frosty Plums.
Frosty
And
Plums.
a gentleman
Yes, of
Nathaniel
course.
knows as a Cloverfield Stan. So I had to watch 2 movies that he wanted me to get on here and talk about. So he wanted to hear everybody's thoughts on them. So
Oh,
we'll
for
get to
sure.
that later.
All right. Sounds good. I'm excited. All right, well, let's get into the show here, boys. Our first news story is Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac, and an expanding Marvel Universe stories from The Hollywood Reporter. But it's essentially Oscar Isaac is set to play, what's this character's name? Spectre, Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, for an upcoming Disney Plus series.
Interesting.
So I will put I'm starting to put the news links in the descriptions of the episode. So if you were interested in checking this out and finding out more about who this Moon Knight character is, because they actually do a really good in-depth review of where he comes from in the comics. So it's actually, I recommend giving it a read if you're kind of into the MCU and want to know more about this. But anyway, yeah, Oscar Isaac joining the MCU. I'm very excited. I love Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, he's good in just about anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I like him in almost everything that he's been in.
Moon Knight's interesting too.
Yeah, he's
Moon
always
Knight-
been an interesting.
Yeah, Moon Knight's
character.
very it's not one that a lot of people know,
Right.
which is why I'm a little surprised that this might be a thing.
Mhm.
But I'm also okay with it because Moon Knight's a badass.
Maybe the most famous for that like one comic panel that you see a lot, which is just Moon Knight walking into a castle and saying, "Where are you, Dracula? You big fucking nerd. Where's my money?" If that kind of gives you an idea of what Moon Knight's all about, but as Adam said, read into it in the article.
Yeah, like I said, it's got a lot of good information on where he comes from that I was happy to learn about.
And that's on
Alright.
what Apple
That's a Disney Plus,
Disney Plus.
Okay. I thought
which
it was
will
Apple.
be
See,
their
that's weird.
first. Is that going to be their first like original character on Disney Plus, where it's not getting a movie, it's just getting a series?
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
No,
Yeah.
I meant for MCU.
Oh,
That's not gonna be the first one by the time it comes out. The first one I believe is gonna be Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying those came from the MCU. These ones are starting, or they came
I
from
see what you're
movies.
saying.
These ones are
I
starting
see. This
on
is their. You're saying this is gonna be their first new series?
Yeah, with like a new
without
character.
it deriving from like a movie or something.
I
Yeah.
believe. What's the one that Kumail Nanjiani is gonna be in? It starts with an I. I think
The
it's like
Eternals?
Invincible. Yeah, is that it?
No, that's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah,
I thought that was a series, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a movie.
Oh, okay. Then I take that back. Then yeah, maybe this. I don't know. I think there's one more in the works that is maybe not in the MCU, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I just might not be remembering it.
yeah, that'll be interesting. I wonder how they're going to do the costume. I hope it looks cool.
Hmm
He gets
Yeah.
his boomerang.
Yeah,
I'll be
hopefully.
interested how they do the cape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
'cause you're
cape
gonna, like,
on like that is like it's an iconic piece of his costume,
Mhm.
and like I think the last person that I feel like the cape is like that big of a deal was like Spawn in like
Mm,
the
yeah.
like what is that, early 2000s, or is that 90s? That's
Yeah.
got to be 90s, isn't it?
Doctor
I want to.
Strange's cape is kind of its own character, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. They
Yeah.
did his cape pretty well. That's true.
But yeah,
I'm not
Spawn's
sure
what
for
you
Spawn.
think
That
of.
might be 2000, 99 or something like that.
Yeah.
98.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
He's actually in Mortal Kombat 11, by the way.
Is he really?
I knew that. Yeah.
97 for Spawn.
Jeez.
Dude, Spawn's great. I
always
fucking
been like
love
He's a
Spawn,
dope
dude.
character for
They're
sure. And
always
then even seeing him come to life in a video game like Mortal Kombat, and obviously that game's super gory and gruesome and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
They get it like spot on of like what Spawn should be like in a modern time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's dope for sure.
Spawn's a shit.
Yeah.
So what's the next one we got on the docket, Adam?
Yes, sir. We have Tom Holland unveils his Uncharted look. So, the Tom Holland Uncharted movie is, we got our first look at it. He tweeted out a picture of basically a still, I'm assuming, from on-set pictures. But yeah, he plays a younger Nathan Drake from the Uncharted video game series. This movie has been in I don't even want to say development, but it started being made in 2008. Like that,
Yeah,
it's been in that kind of turmoil.
forever.
And at one point, Nathan Fillion was on to play Nathan Drake. At another point, Mark Wahlberg was in talks too.
Nathan Fillion would have
it's
been amazing.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion would have been great. And then went through a bunch of different directors, a bunch of different writers. Neil Druckmann at one point. I think Neil Druckmann did write a script for an Uncharted movie at one point. I know that. Who is the head of Naughty Dog, the developer of the Uncharted games, who wrote, I think, most of the Uncharted series and the Last of Us series.
Now they've gone for kind of the iconic Nathan Drake look when Tom Holland is quite a bit younger than what.
How old is Tom Holland?
Is when he has a look. He's 23,
24 or something like that.
23, 24, somewhere in there.
Wow.
And I know some people were upset about that, but I think he looks awesome. I think it looks right. I know Mark Wahlberg is playing Sully, and there has been
That's right. Yeah.
there has been talks because they saw similar on-set photos of him sans mustache.
Mm.
So we don't know how we feel about that yet, but then I think he like tweeted out a photo of him with a mustache. So hopefully we get the Mark mustache. So hashtag Mark mustache. But yeah.
Currently scheduled for July 2021 release.
Is Sean Levy directing still?
This is the Yes, this is Ruben Fleischer, who directed Venom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other better movies than Venom, but yes, also Venom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was just looking at the article. That's what
he's kind of Sony's hired gun. He'll just kind of do. He's a company man in that way, but which is cool. Way to get steady work.
How do you guys feel about the Uncharted series? Like, do you guys care to even see it in movie form, or?
I will probably see it once it comes out. But I'm not like a huge Uncharted fan by any means. I've played 1 through 3, and I didn't finish 4. I played about half of 4. So I've played them. I like them, but they're not really my type of games. I much prefer The Last of Us. Those are my favorite games, and that's from the same developer. But yeah, those Uncharted are still pretty good.
These are way more my speed. I like the Uncharted games a lot. I really like the new iteration of Tomb Raider even better. But,
yeah, the revival of Tomb Raider is great.
Yeah, so very, very similar. But yeah, I really like these ones.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to see this as a movie for sure. Because like me not being a PlayStation person, I have not played these games. I've just heard very good things about them.
That does make sense, yeah.
But what I used to do is my old roommate Rob. What's up, Rob? Say what's up to me, like, you know, also because I love that cat. I used to sit out in the living room and watch him play, so I already kind of look at it as a movie because they're very cinematic games.
For sure.
You could watch somebody else play very easily. So yeah, that I'll be interested to see it as a movie because that's kind of how I already see it.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think I love Tom Holland, so think it has potential there. We'll see where this goes, though. I think Mark Wahlberg would be. I can see him being a good Sully, depending on how he does it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think my head will always still have. I think it's like Richard McGonagall is his name or whatever. He's so
He's great. Oh yeah, he's so charismatic. He's
and he has that like deep, rich voice that I just don't know.
Yeah, he's got
Mark-
that fatherly tone to him that
Yeah.
I don't know if Mark can bring, but I think he can if he brings more of that northeastern part of him. Kind of
that's a good point.
that a little bit.
That's a good point a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. We'll see if that actually comes out in July 2021. We'll see where production goes. You know,
Yeah, if
You
it
never
doesn't
know.
get delayed like everything else that's
you never know.
production. So
All right. Well, like I said, no trailer talk for the week, so we'll go straight to new to streaming on Netflix. We unfortunately don't really have anything coming to Netflix this week. Amazon Prime is getting Battle Los Angeles, which is actually also on Netflix because I just saw that the other day. Have you guys seen that?
is that the one with? Is that the joint with Rihanna?
No,
No,
that's
no.
Battleship.
Okay.
That's Battleship.
Yeah.
This is the
Battle Los
one with
Angeles, walk me
Aaron
through that.
Eckhart. Aaron Eckhart is it's like an alien invasion movie, so they come in looking for their water.
Yeah.
And they hit a bunch of different cities, and then they figure out in LA how to start like killing them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Two-Face is in it.
Yeah,
There's a
Aaron
really
Eckhart.
good like
That's his name,
bus
right?
school bus scene in that movie, right?
Yeah.
Or am I
Yeah.
completely?
Yeah, no,
okay,
they're on the
gotcha.
bridge.
Yeah, they're on a
and-
bridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
I
reason
gotcha.
you know it, Blake, is because we play that scene all the time at work.
At work.
It's on the
Fair
clip.
enough. It's probably
It's on the Magnolia Loop.
Yeah. I don't know. I loved this movie as a kid. I thought it was so much fun.
I
thought it
haven't
was so
seen that in a long
as a
time.
kid, but it's not a great movie, but I had fond
Yeah,
memories of it as a kid because
think
it was
it
one of
was-
like the first action movies.
I think it was like right in that spot where I stopped seeing movies like this. Like where not in a bad way, but like you know how you go through that period where you just see everything and you don't
Mhm.
realize that some movies are bad. Like this was post that period for me, and just that. I don't know how I'm getting caught up on your mic, Ty. I don't feel like I'm talking loud at all.
You just need to be in your mic, and then you could
I
just
don't.
talk it.
I will say you might be getting picked up a little bit, but I don't hear you much in Ty's headset.
Okay,
Just
that's good.
Yeah.
all right. And man, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
About Battle Los Angeles.
Battle Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just move on. HBO Max. Or, I'm sorry, Hulu. This has got nothing really coming. HBO Max has It Chapter 2, which was already on there, but it came up on the list. I guess they're maybe refreshing the rights to that, or the license. So yeah, if you want a spooky watch for the last week of Halloween, there you go.
I haven't seen that since it released.
I haven't seen
It was
I haven't
definitely
seen the second
2019.
one yet. It was
I haven't seen
2019.
the second one either.
Yeah.
I want to watch the first one again because when I watched it, it was on probably one of the worst TVs I've ever experienced. And it was hard to watch, but it was at my
Oh, it
friend's.
looks so much better on your OLED.
Oh
Yeah,
my god! I
own
know.
the
I
first
literally was
one on
watching this
video.
movie and I was like, I can't wait to watch this on my OLED. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah. I can get you the login for my Voodoo if you want that. That's one of the ones I own on there.
I
The
will
second
be
one,
hitting
but
you up for that 100%.
First one's dope. Second one,
Yeah.
nah, I didn't really care for it. But I know Nathaniel says he's got a soft spot for the second
Hey,
one.
I really like the first one. From even having the crappy TV, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, the first one's dope.
First
man,
one's
for
awesome.
sure.
Yeah, I always like them. I read the book as well. And I'm a huge fan of the book too. So I think the second one's very strange, but I like it a lot.
Different. Completely different movie than the first one.
Yeah, there's a lot of like of ideas that they use that are very clearly like smaller independent filmmaking ideas that would
Mhm.
never normally get put in a big movie like this. But
Mhm.
because of the success of the first one, I think they were able to do it in the
Just
second one.
green light
Do,
it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Do a lot more in the second one. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun. Definitely
And then
recommend for me.
Disney Plus is getting Mandalorian season 2.
You're
I need to actually look into this really quick because I don't know. Is that going to be another weekly release? Because that's how they did the first season.
Yes.
I would
It is.
imagine.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we're just going to be episode 1 starting on October 30th. But yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait. I will probably be watching these week by week. So I'll give you guys the updates.
I will also probably be watching them week by week.
Cool.
I probably
I'm
won't even
excited.
click it, fellas.
Well, then it looks like for the next, how many episodes are there? 8. So it looks like for the next 2 months, Blake
Yeah,
has
yeah,
his
you
little,
guys will all
his
be
little,
locked
his
in
little phone break.
what we're watching.
We can do, yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
Or we get him to just
Or
we try and come up with something outlandish, and Blake has to tell us if that actually happened in The Mandalorian, or if we're just making it up.
like a fun mini
I'm
game.
not mad with this. Yeah.
I'm with that. Yeah. For context, I have no idea what goes on in any of those movies. So like what you're saying could be so far fetched, but it actually happened. And I could be like,
Ye-
that sounds
Yeah.
absolutely stupid.
All right.
New segment. Maybe it'll replace something else. We'll see.
We'll bring it up in our meeting.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right. What we're watching? What have you guys been up to? Ty, Nathaniel?
I started Cowboy Bebop.
Ooh.
Classic anime.
I have not
Yes.
seen that, but
I
I've
have
heard good things.
I've not seen it before either, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit so far. It's kind of like so my shit
Mhm.
that it's embarrassing. Like, it's just everything about it is very my own personal kind of like aesthetic, the style that I appreciate, the music choices. It's beautiful to look at. For context, if you have not heard of Cowboy Bebop, it centers around a crew of bounty hunters in the far-flung future of 2071, but it's basically a western. So, like, think somewhat an anime version of Firefly or Serenity, but also a lot cooler, like
Mhm.
in terms of style. It's very like punk 90s, but also elements of jazz and like
Ooh.
and western. It's a really eclectic mix, but it's very
For
fun.
sure.
So I've been enjoying it. Blake, have you seen it? You reacted like you kind of had.
Yeah, I've seen some of it. I haven't seen all of it by any means. It's kind of something I just came across in college, like with my roommates when we were like just going on a deep anime binge one time, you know. So I'm kind of aware of what's going on with it, and it was cool. It caught my eye for sure. But I'd be a liar to say I've gone back and watched it.
Yes, it's really interesting. I think it's one of those ones you can see their influence in a lot of other things as well,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah. And that's old too. I mean, what is that? Is that early 90s?
98.
Something. Okay, yeah.
I'm just really glad that you do like this, and I apologize for not showing it to you earlier, especially after like our Evangelion run. It's a very similar art style,
Mhm.
which is why I think you are also, a little more drawn to it because I know that you love that style.
Yeah, it's very much like the kind of more realistic, I would
Yep.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't quite have big kawaii eyes on everyone and
Yep.
everything, and everyone seems slightly taller.
Yep.
Like, um,
But yeah, it's very cinematic. It's beautiful. It's really well done. Steve Blum, if you don't know who he is like one of the greatest and like most renowned voice actors out there. And he plays the main character, Spike. And he's just got like one of the greatest voices. Every time I hear him talk, I feel like he's reading me a story, and it's really great. But I have not been watching this with him, by the way.
Yeah, this has
No,
been
Even not.
a solo.
No.
A solo.
Ah, a
Is
solo
it
venture.
like your late
Yeah.
night joint where you're just like putting it on to go to
It's
sleep, or
it's kind of just been my when Tyler's not home. This is my anime that I've been putting on.
gotcha.
Because this is 2020's in some ways turned into the year of anime for me. As growing up as a person that just had zero interest, didn't really take a look at it, didn't really give it a second thought. Couldn't understand that I would ever like it. Basically, now I'm paying for that now because it's been fascinating. So it's been a really kind of fun watch for me. So
Cool.
Yeah, dope.
Anything
what
else
else
you've been
did we
watching, or has that been it most
Yeah,
of the
I think
week?
we played a lot of COD.
We have been
Because
playing a lot of COD.
they started a new a haunting in Verdansk, a Halloween
Mhm.
event where you could get this ties in. You could get Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Billy from the Saw franchise as playable characters, basically. Um, so, and they're like officially licensed versions of them too. They look exactly like it. It's pretty cool.
They're very cool.
Nice.
So we've been doing a lot of that, and then we watched everything for the podcast, obviously, and then we also watched what is probably considered my favorite movie, A Knight's Tale.
Your favorite movie of all time?
It's up there, yeah. It's one or two that and Jurassic Park, really.
What movie was that you said?
A Knight's Tale.
Oh, okay. No,
That movie is
Heath Ledger.
fantastic, man. It is really good. I need to give that a rewatch.
Just gives you just warm, happy feelings all the time. Everyone's having just their best time. If you think about it, the main cast is the Joker, Vision, Robert Baratheon, Hogan Washburn from Firefly, and there was one other one. No, that's all of it. Yeah, that's the core guys. So pretty heavy hitter cast there.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix right now, so
It is.
I've scrolled
Where we
by it
watched it.
multiple times.
That's where we
You
watched
At
should,
it.
first, I thought you
you should
said
click on it.
a Nightingale or the
Oh,
Nightingale.
The Nightingale.
Yeah,
I watched that too. That was a few
that's
weeks
actually
ago,
a really
though.
good movie. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. But
that
yeah,
caught my ear. I thought that's what you said.
I think A Knight's Tale cinematically has a lot of kind of fun tricks up its sleeves too. So
Mhm.
there's something to be taken from it.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's Heath Ledger.
Of course. Is that all? Is that all, Nathaniel?
Yeah, other than the ones for the pod. Oh, what was my other thing? Oh, I'll talk about that another time. Well, that can be we got a lot to record tonight. So
All right. Why don't you popcorn your friend, buddy?
popcorn,
Whatever
Tyler.
friend you want.
The only thing I have to really add on was Schitt's Creek. So Leah and I have one more episode until we are completely done with the series. It's very sad. We both love it very much, and it's definitely going to be ready for a rewatch, like very quick after we're done.
Is that show done?
I believe so. Yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
it's incredible. It's a good acting, good writing, just overall good story. But yeah, it's funny, it's sad, it's great.
Cool.
Big ups.
It's funny,
Popcorn.
it's sad. It's great. Quote of the year.
That's
Popcorn Blake.
Alrighty. Yeah, I guess I'll roll into it of what I've been watching. So I don't know if actually this might have been off pod when Adam, you were kind of getting situated. So the two movies I wanted to get to this time were actually per request of Frosty Plums. Actually no, so I think I said this one in the introduction.
Yeah, you did.
From wanted to hear basically what Nathaniel and Tyler and all you guys had to say on it. So what I wanted to watch this week were zombie movies. Or I guess quote unquote infected, as you would say in this series. So I got to 28 days later and 28 weeks later. And that was kind of off the strength of my man saying, hey, I want you to get those two on the pod. I just want to hear what everyone says. So those are two I watched, ending that last week of Halloween, or last week of October, I should say. So that's kind of what I got to. Two movies I thoroughly enjoy. I haven't seen the first one in a really long time, probably 5 or 6 years. I've seen the second one recently, but those are good, man. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen those. I mean, I know, I'm sure Nathaniel and Tyler have. I don't know if Adam has, but for listeners, 28 Weeks Later, it's a zombie, I guess, quote unquote movie, right? There's some type of virus that has gone on, that makes
The
people turn
rage
into rage
virus.
monsters. Yeah.
Yeah. From
Um,
monkeys.
Yeah. So it's actually really good watching it, and we're in the midst of a pandemic ourselves. So it's just interesting to kind of watch how something like that could happen. But yeah, those are really good. So the first one is directed by Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle.
And the main star in that one is actually going to be Cillian Murphy.
Yes,
Isn't that?
sir.
So that's, most people know him from the Dark Knight series. I think he's
that?
like Scarecrow in there.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he's in
4?
Inception as well. Is he not?
Yes, he is.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he's kind of the main character. That's probably one of his first bigger leads, I could imagine.
For sure.
And he's the main character in that, so that's pretty good. And then 28 Weeks Later is the sequel to that. But yeah, those are the two I've watched. I like them thoroughly. What do you guys kind of have to say about them?
I have not seen them, but I've heard good things and want
figured.
to see them. I just have not.
Well, I own both of those on Vudu as well, so if you want to watch those,
Hey,
You spoil me. You spoil me.
I think they're really fun.
yeah.
I love a good zombie movie. I loved a good zombie show once upon a time, and then it went to shit.
Same.
I
think we all went through that, man.
But yeah, they're gory, they're suspenseful, they're
Mhm.
also very cliche at points. But yeah, they're really, really fun.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's one of those movies that if you don't have a good TV set, you're probably not going to have a good time.
Yeah,
because it is rather dark for a majority of them.
for sure.
But other than that, they're very fun, and you should definitely give them a watch if you have not watched them.
Yeah. Yeah, and even the first one, it's filmed like so grainy and stuff. It's almost hard to watch. Like, it throws you really off, and
Yeah.
it threw me off when I clicked it on like Thursday to watch it.
That was one of the original movies that was shot on video almost entirely, and you can
Okay.
really tell because it has that weird hand cranked look where they
Yeah.
almost they're quicker almost, and there's an immediacy to it, just because that the image reacts faster when it's being it's a part of the filmmaking process. On digital video, you have immediate kind of retention on the image, whereas film, it takes a little bit longer to produce, so there's this kind of a slowness to film, a length to film in some ways, where video is kind of direct and impactful, and you're there a lot more.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's part of the reason why some folks choose to shoot certain things on video and certain things on film.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can certainly kind of see that in the first one too, for sure. And they've got some good shots of. I don't even know how they managed to do that. It literally looks like it's empty.
Yeah, that's one of the kind of famous
And I'm
things
like,
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, they had to spend fucking 70% of their budget on that.
Just shutting down
Yeah,
big
for
for
sure,
London.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one's written by Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina and Annihilation, and it was always kind of
Oh, wow. I
it's
love
always kind of
Annihilation.
yeah, it's always been kind of rumored that he more or less directed 28 Weeks Later, but it's kind of one of
Okay.
those famous Hollywood tales of like, yeah, this guy actually did it, but it's under this dude's name kind of thing.
Yeah. And they're not
Um,
even directed by the same person, the first
No,
one
they're
and the
not.
second. So it's
Yeah.
really weird, and they're both actually pretty good. It's like
Yeah.
that's not common at all to have
So
a
they're kind
prequel
of
and a sequel, two different directors.
yeah,
And they're like 6, 7 years apart.
the kind of scuttlebutt has always been that Alex Garland was there to kind of make sure the second one lived up to how he wrote the first one. And
Gotcha.
even now, he's always in the rumor to do a third one as well.
28 months later. Yeah. I'd watch it, man, for sure. I'm
Absolutely.
curious
Oh,
about
yeah.
how it would play out. But yeah, so those are the only two things I watched. Like I said, the first one kind of caught me off guard. I haven't seen that in a long time, and that's really good. I actually like that much more than the second one after rewatching it the other day. And that's kind of saying a lot because I really liked the second one. That was the first horror movie I saw in theaters with my dad. I remember that, so I kind of got a soft spot for that one. But yeah, so that's about it for me, Adam. What about you, man? I know you got some few things going on for class and whatnot. So
Yeah,
what'd you watch for that?
I had a busy week again last week because a paper that was supposed to be due during the winter week got pushed back, but then I had a bunch of other classes that stacked on some assignments. So long week again last week as usual, and then weekend got clogged up by some stuff going on for my fraternity. We initiated the new pledge class, so that was a good time. But it took like all day Saturday, and we had to prepare for it Friday and stuff like that. So busy week. Didn't get too much, but I did watch Dave Chappelle. I watched his 2017 special, the first one he did when he did his comeback. It was, it was really
which
good.
one was that? I remember watching all of those, but they are all kind of like blurred together.
They do all kind of blur together. I'm trying to remember some of the jokes from them.
Is that he's has a lot of interesting content on there. Is that the one with the queer superhero?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't remember one.
that might be.
This was early on in the week, so I don't remember exactly. I don't think so though. I don't think it was that one. He had a joke about feet. He had a joke about man, I forgot, dude. I can't tell you. I just remember it being really funny. I don't know which one it was. I don't know. I'm trying to give you context for which one it was, dude.
Guy. Yeah.
I'm trying, but you're right. They all kind of blur together. So it's just like, I don't know what. Yeah. It was earlier on in the week. And then the other thing I watched tonight for my the class I'm taking, which by the way, announcement a little bit. I am officially adding a minor, film minor.
Oh yeah.
So
congrats.
Yeah, I'll be doing that officially this week, but I'm excited.
That'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. So look forward to that.
We'll have an educated man on the pod.
2 of them. And then 2 casuals.
We'll have a major, a minor, and then
a major, a minor, and an undergrad. Yeah. Anyway, I watched Thelma and Louise.
I have no idea what that is.
You've never heard of that? I've heard of it before I watched it. Didn't know what it was about.
In agreement.
You definitely look like you've seen it.
Me?
Yes.
I actually have not.
Oh.
Have you seen that, Tyler?
I believe so. I'm gonna double check here.
Okay. This says, let me bring up the IMDb for this. This might be a good idea.
Is that
it's Ridley Scott.
Yeah, but from Terminator, what's her name?
I don't know the actress's name off the top of my head.
Linda Hamilton, and if I remember correctly, that is also Susan Sarandon.
Yep.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon
and Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. Sorry, I apologize, Gina Davis.
And also starring Brad Pitt. Very young Brad Pitt. This is 91.
Yeah, like super young.
Yeah, this is 91.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of this movie.
Michael Madsen. Christopher McDonald.
Great, famous for its ending.
Yes. Yeah, very shocking ending. I'm not gonna. Should I say the ending? I don't know.
Yeah, bro. This movie's what?
It's 91.
Yeah.
Well,
it's 29 years old. Let her rip.
They drive off a cliff at the end. So
because they love each other.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was an odd ending, but it was also, I feel, justified by the friendship that you see them go through.
It's a good movie.
It was a great movie. I really liked it. It was really feel good. It was one of those kind of feel good movies in a very weird way. It's not a typical feel good movie, but it's just like it's a lot of fun and
just like The Descent.
just like The Descent. Yeah, it also has a female, like a strong female cast. Man, these are interchangeable.
Yeah, both Brad Pitt plays a
Yeah.
cave dwelling creature.
Yeah. Little fun fact about The Descent: Brad Pitt is in prosthetics actually.
Yeah.
Under those or for the crawlers. Yeah, I really liked it. It was I don't know, it was really good. Fun movie. Would recommend. I did have to rent it. It's not really streaming anywhere very easily, from what I could tell. So, but yeah. Are we ready to move on to the main segment here, people?
Yeah, let's get
Let's
it.
do it. Do believe so.
Well, then
Actually,
oh,
I'm gonna call a quick pause
you need to
because I really need to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
I also kind of need to go to the bathroom. All right, we'll pause right here, and we're back. How was your bathroom break, Nathaniel?
It was fantastic. Yeah,
That's great.
but I
Good to hear.
sure would like to talk about our next film.
And before we do that, Nathaniel, why don't you give our new listeners a rundown of our review segment for the film?
Yeah,
Trick
so
for our treat.
if you're new to the back row and chilling with us here, basically what we do is whenever we review a movie, we first break it down into a couple different sections. The main thing is going to be the non-spoilers and the spoilers section. So how this works is we'll introduce the movie a little bit, give you, the year it came out, who directed it, the actors, and then we're going to give you the IMDb plot summary. These are notoriously short and undescriptive, so we'll fill in a little bit after that. Give our first kind of initial impressions and thoughts, and then we'll break it down, whether we recommend the film or not recommend the film for you. Has to be yes or no, so you will have an answer at the end of that there. From then on, it's going to be spoilers. So if there is any big plot twists or anything like that, we'll keep it out of the non-spoiler zone and reserve it for that section. But then at that point, we'll go a little bit deeper into the movie, talk about the rest of the plot, and really give our big thoughts on it. So after that's over, we'll welcome back any listeners who wanted to be non-spoiled, and we'll see where this guy ranks on our entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've seen on the pod so far.
Fantastic. All right. Well, why don't we get started? Do you want to realize our lengthy? This is a lengthy IMDb description.
Yeah, this is a bigger one.
Is it the record for the longest one so far?
This is definitely the longest one as far as word count. Yeah,
which is hilarious.
This is four. This is 4.5 lines. Yeah. All right.
So yeah, this is Trick or Treat.
And I think we lost him. That was just great timing.
He'll be back.
He's already back. Phil, Ty.
And we're back.
I got a pretty good filler. It's not pretty good. It actually kind of sucks. Matt Marcello, if you're listening, I'm super sorry that so the state got pushed back a step, a level, if you will,
in our fight against COVID.
So they're supposed to get married this weekend, and their venue called them and told them that they can't have their wedding there. So I love you guys. Whatever we figure out, it'll be great. We're still gonna do this thing, and yeah.
And if you need a rev, he knows a guy. But for real, I'm very sorry as well, guys. That's that's very, very unfortunate. But I know you guys will get through it, and you guys will have a great time anyways.
Yeah, hopefully that all works out for you guys.
For sure.
Advocate of love.
Filled.
Only in 2020.
Yeah, right.
So I might do some clever editing here and try not to give away as much as there is in the plot summary here, because it kind of does give a lot of the film away. But
yes, it does.
This is Trick or Treat. So it came out in 2007. It's spelled trick and then apostrophe R treat, because trick or treat was taken at the time. But the plot summary goes like this. It's 5 interwoven stories that occur on Halloween. An everyday high school principal, a college virgin might have just met the guy for her. A group of teenagers pull a mean prank. And what else is here? A woman who loathes the night has to contend with her holiday-obsessed husband, and a mean old man meets his match. So
Yeah.
each one of these stories is
Fairly edited.
is locked together. It is a movie where you spend time with each kind of story and sees how it works with the other ones. It's directed by Michael Dougherty. It's written by Michael Dougherty.
Is it based on a comic book, I'm assuming? Or some kind of graphic novel?
It's his own short film, originally. And this came, it says 2007, but I don't think it was actually ever released until 2009 because Michael Dougherty, if you don't know him, wrote the second X-Men film. And this movie is produced by Bryan Singer, who directed the first two X-Men film as well. And there's a lot of X-Men veterans in this movie, like Anna Paquin, Brian Cox. So a lot of those actors cross over. But we like Michael Dougherty, particularly Blake does, because he also directed the most recent Godzilla, which was Blake's big movie of last year.
Yes. Not the greatest. I will go on record saying that.
But yeah, so I think I was talking with Tyler about this earlier. I think this might be the best direct-to-DVD movie of all time.
Was it a direct-to-DVD?
Ooh,
Yeah. It was
that's an
originally
interesting take.
it was originally supposed to be released in theaters, but for whatever reason they decided not to keep it slated for theater release, and so it was going to be shopped around, released a couple different times, and then eventually they just decided to release it direct to DVD. So
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it was, I guess we can get right into the kind of non-spoiler reviews, but I liked it overall. I thought it was kind of campy in parts, but also kind of a little silly, but also kind of fun. Definitely a different type of horror movie than we reviewed before. We're kind of covering our genres here. I don't know what kind of horror movie you would call this. Maybe you guys could give it a better definition than I.
it's a Halloween horror. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
fair. Yeah, honestly, that's very fair. As I was watching it, I was like, this is a very Halloween movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, Halloween flick almost instead of like a horror.
I put it in like it's almost like in like an adult Hocus Pocus in some ways.
Okay.
Like
I like that.
If you kind of grow up with like your Nightmare Before Christmases or your Halloween Towns, you Hocus Pocus, and then once you graduate, once you graduate into like the adult version of that, it's Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
I would agree with that 100%.
I'd like to go on record that you could still be an adult and enjoy Halloween Town.
facts.
Halloween
Oh, I do.
Calabar's Revenge. Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, nothing against those guys, but I also don't think it's not a sliding scale where if you enjoy those as a 4-year-old, you're also going to enjoy Trick or Treat too.
I mean, I probably did.
Fair.
Yeah, but what did you guys think, Nathaniel? Popcorn Nathaniel?
Yeah, I really enjoy this movie. I think it's very fun. I think it's a good time. I like kind of what you alluded to earlier, and that there is all these elements of kind of Halloween together. I think it's written really, really well. There's a lot of tie-ins to each other, and even more the more times you watch it. I enjoyed it overall. I think it's a good time. It's kind of one of those hidden gems for me, for sure. And but it's got a pretty good cult following, I would say. This film, it's one people know for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely recommend for me if we're at that point yet. But I guess we'll kind of get everyone's first thoughts as well too, a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll follow that up. It was my first time watching Trick or Treat, and I'm a pretty big horror buff, as you guys know. I like it. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I think I I would be a fool to say that I think everybody would enjoy it, you know. But I know what it is for the horror genre, and I just know what it is for a like campy Halloween movie. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's everything you get up when you just want to watch something on Halloween to get into the festive spirit. I
Yeah.
think this is
Something
certainly
like this. Yeah.
a high grade for that.
Yeah, this feels like the Halloween version of like your elves or your Santa Claus or
Mhm.
like Christmas gets all these fun movies around it. This is like Halloween's little version of
Mhm.
it,
This
for
feels
sure.
like a more. This feels almost like a Goosebumps kind of thing,
Yeah,
Mhm.
but maybe
ways.
done a little
I
bit
can see
better.
that. Yeah.
Ty?
I'm a big fan. I've seen this, I don't know, probably a handful of times. But this is definitely one of those movies that I think like I could probably give credit to like Justin, which is
Yeah. I know
rare
he's a
for
big
me.
fan.
But yeah, Justin is definitely one of those people that I've seen a lot of movies that I wouldn't probably see unless he like either made me watch them or like hard like suggested them. But this is definitely one of those like first movies that I can say that he was like, "Hey, you should watch this." Because like looking at the cover, I feel like most people would be like, I don't really want to," or like it doesn't look that great. But yeah, I think it's awesome. I think the classic like horror movie tropes or cliches or whatever you want to call them are phenomenal in it. I think it knows exactly what it is.
Mhm.
I like the way that it's shot from 5 different storylines, like the little synopsis says. Everything ties in together, and it's really cool
For
how they
sure.
tie it in. So yeah, I'm a big fan. This is definitely a recommend for me.
For
Cool.
sure. I think is
Yeah,
that
I would say this is a recommend for me too, especially if you want something more in the Halloween spirit. But I liked it overall, so recommend.
yeah, big
That's good
ol'
to hear,
recommend
Adam.
for
I
me.
definitely thought you were gonna rip this thing another asshole.
Oh,
I was
really?
hoping you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about
No.
it. And I was like, I really hope he doesn't like this.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like you wouldn't have typically with the movies we have been watching, you always try to like tie like a plot together or you try like it needs
No,
to be like
you know what? I
right.
I I understand this movie. I can. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Sorry. I was just
I
saying, I'm really glad that you kind of like let go on this one and
Yeah,
just
no, I know when to let go.
it is.
And I don't maybe I don't let go enough on some of the movies, but I learned to let go on this one, and I just kind of sat back and enjoyed it for what it was.
Well, I think you kind of hit it directly on the head earlier, Adam. I think, or maybe it was Blake, or it might have been Tyler too. I can't remember. Whoever said that, it knows exactly what it is.
That was me.
Like this, yeah, this movie knows exactly what it is and who it's
Mhm.
made for and why it's
Mhm.
made. And there's so much you could definitely tell. There's a ton of love that went into making this. I think.
Side
And
note here.
go
Oh, I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go. You finish, and then I'll do my side note. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
and
didn't know you.
I just think it's clear that everyone's having a really fun time, like
Yeah.
when they're making this. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Side note. Best movie that knows what it is. John Wick 1.
Yeah, that's up there, I would
Yeah.
say. A Knight's Tale would be another one of those, I
Knight's
think,
Tale
too.
would be another one of those too.
Oh yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good choice. Okay. Yeah. Are we ready to go into spoilers then?
Yeah, so a group of all 4 thumbs up from us. Everyone go see this, particularly if you're looking for something fun to watch on Halloween, maybe while you're, getting your Halloween party together by yourself, COVID Halloween party. But,
Mhm.
Party of less than 10.
yeah, exactly.
With 6 feet in between all of you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if you guys have not seen Trick ' or Treat from 2007, it's hard to find this movie. I gotta specify. Go ahead and check the description while I put the timestamp for where our spoiler review ends, and you will be sent to the entropy list where we rank this on our entropy list. But without further ado, I guess I can start off with my thoughts here. Oh, actually, you know what, Nathaniel? Why don't you take away the fill in the plot here?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
so
you should do that first.
basically, if you're here, it's revealed fairly quickly that the school principal is a serial killer who's killing people around the town pretty indiscriminately, it seems. The Anna Paquin's character, who is the college version, who you think is out to with her sorority sisters or her actual sister going to find a boy to take home to have her first time with, is actually a werewolf, a group of female werewolves.
Mhm.
The kids that are pulling the prank on the town slow girl. I don't know what they want to call her as. They never really say. They call her a savant, an idiot savant.
I think they call her. They say something. They refer to retardation at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, they throw a hard R there at some point, I think.
They do.
But
It was 2007. It was a different time.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Very different time.
But they trick her into thinking that there are a bunch of zombies, but in actuality there are zombies. So each kind of person meets their own fate, and justice is kind of served throughout. And the more or less the framing device for this is a little character that we see kind of running around through the different tales, linking them all together, who eventually terrorizes Brian Cox's character, and revealed to be Samhain, which is the traditional name for the night of Halloween, and is this little pumpkin-headed kid nicknamed Sam by the trick-or-treat audience, and just up to tricks and japes and some treats as well. So yeah, really fun movie. There's a lot more tying it together, but I'm sure we'll talk about that as we kind of go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll follow up with you on that. I mean, yeah, so I like it now that we're all in the spoilers. By far and away, my favorite story are the girls who happen to be werewolves. I don't know about
Really?
you guys and what. Yeah, by far, dude. They even allude to it where she's getting dressed, right? And she's like, "Oh, don't cry," like, you know what I mean. You guys can't laugh at me when I come out. And she's like, "Oh, well, you better come out, or I'll huff and I'll puff," and you know what I mean. I was like,
"Oh
she
yeah,"
would say that.
Yeah,
whole time.
And she's in the Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was by far and away my favorite story, dude. Like once that happened, I was like, "Oh, this movie's."
Yeah,
that was what sold me on this movie.
Okay,
once they were werewolves, I'm like, okay, I like this.
Yeah,
movie.
and that's the one where it first really ties in together, because her victim, who you think may just be a vampire, is actually the principal, who is just trying another way of killing people, and then in himself gets killed by them, which I think is great.
Yeah, it is great. I love how these stories are all intertwined in small ways like that, because you have the principal being like into the werewolf story, and then you have what was the actor's name that you referred to? I don't know.
Brian Cox,
the older man.
Brian Cox, who's the principal's neighbor.
He's
the bus driver.
Yeah, and he's the bus driver. Yeah, so he's the bus driver, and then you also see on the porch when he's saying "Help me, help me," and then he walks away, and then the camera stays on that shot, and then he gets attacked.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the nougat bar with the razor blade in it that Sam has is one of the ones that the serial killer principal had left out on the porch.
Yeah.
You see the kids in the very first shot of the movie. You see the murderous zombie children approach Brian Cox's house while you're getting the reflection shot, because the kind of original storyline where you see Sam murder a woman is shot from across the street as well.
And there's some people who almost get hit by a car. And it's the car is the werewolf girl.
Yes, the girl with the werewolves.
Yes, the girl that almost gets hit by the car is Rhonda.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
she's coming back from.
So yeah, there's a bunch of them
down there, but yeah, it's great. They all tie
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, so I think Blake, you're going, so you can keep going.
Yeah, like I said, that's kind of the story is the one that sold me on it, and I've always seen.
Welcome back, listeners. Sorry for that cutout. Craig and Jirac both just said peace and stopped recording.
Sam's messing with them.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know who was talking. I think it was Blake.
Blake was saying that he'd always seen, I think, the photos of Sam, or like the character of Sam.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I've always seen the Sam character, but I never knew what it came from. And then I watched the movie, then I saw it, and it was super cool.
Mhm.
But I didn't realize he was a giant fucking pumpkin. Like that was
Yeah.
super cool to me. Like when his mask came off.
That was kind of a
Said-
funny reveal.
Yeah, because I'm always watching. I'm like, what is this guy? Like it was
Yeah.
weird. I was like, I don't know if that's just a boy in a costume, you know,
Yeah.
like, or what,
Or like some kind of doll.
yeah.
The cover art for the movie is a little deceiving in the size of him. It does kind of look like a doll.
Yeah,
That's what I.
Well, and
But-
he's played by the kid who's peeking in on the werewolf chicks in their scene where they're getting
Is
their
he really?
costumes. Yeah, that's the kid that.
Oh, that's funny.
that's the kid that
who
plays
actually
Sam.
plays like in the
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, so I think that was a cool reveal too when you come to realize that he's just like a demon pumpkin thing.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
like the spirit of Halloween, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I actually genuinely like this movie. And this will probably go on to my records as a movie I'll probably watch for every Halloween now for the next few years.
Yeah, I
Really?
think it's nice to kind of have that spot for it. You know, it's just like, and there's not a ton of other movies that are out there trying to be that movie, I guess. So it's kind of like almost by default in some ways, but it is just a fun one to have too.
Mm-hmm.
Ty?
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Yeah, what do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, we've already kind of said a majority of it, but I think the way that the story is told is really great and how everything ties in together. Favorite story, I think they're all kind of pretty even for me. I think I just thoroughly enjoy the presence of Sam the most. I guess if I had to pick a scene, it would be him versus Mr. Krieg.
Mhm.
In the house.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
because I think that's just where you get to see him the most. And when he's hiding under the bed and then he like cuts his leg with the razor blade. It's cool when Mr. Krieg falls on the floor and then you can see Sam like on the other side of the bed, like getting out from under the bed, like he's like actually struggling with
Scuttling away. Yeah.
yeah. And it's just really great because like he's not trying to be like this supernatural all being like demon, like he just cut you and now he just like wants to kill you. And then
bar.
right, with his little candy bar. And then I think when he shoots him, it's great. Shout out to Mr. Krieg. He does double tap.
Yeah.
He does.
It doesn't
He
work,
does.
but he did
out to
do it. But yeah, I think it's great that like when he gets shot, it's like pumpkin guts.
It's an actual pumpkin, yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And then he blows his hand off, and his hand has entrails of pumpkin and seeds hanging out of it. I think it's done just really well. I like the way his face moves. And he's really creepy at some points. He's just smaller than your average person, and he's supposed to be, and he can still just mess you up, and it's just great. And I love how like even though he's a character, the presence of Halloween is what that small town is all about, and these weird things only happen in that small town. And it's great. I love it. I really don't have anything but good things to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I like his little pumpkin sucker.
Yeah, it's dope.
Doesn't he use that to like kill like two people?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does use
Yeah.
the chick.
jack-o'-lantern.
He like stuffs it in her mouth, and then he puts her under one of the ghost yard decorations. And then he kills somebody else with it. He like slashes their neck or something with it, but he doesn't kill Mr. Krieg.
No, he doesn't.
Well, the zombie kids do.
Yeah.
They get their little comeback.
Yeah. I think he's just waiting for them, basically. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows all. Sam
But yeah,
knows all.
I think it's awesome. I think like even when we like I was thinking about it after somebody said something about the entropy list. Like I think this is gonna be like in the perfect spot, and it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be. It's not trying to be the best movie on the face of the planet, but it's definitely, it knows it's not the worst. And when you said it's something you're gonna watch like every Halloween, it's kind of like the Elf of Halloween. Like Elf is just something you watch when Christmas comes around. And I think this is like the best way to describe Halloween. So it's definitely I think that's the best way to describe it for me. It's the elf of Halloween.
For sure.
So popcorn Adam. Jump. Water's fine.
What was your favorite segment?
Well, my favorite segment, I really like the bit with the kid, whatever his name is.
Sam.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of. I don't know. I just liked the reveal of him being a pumpkin, and then it was kind of. It had some good suspense to it. I thought that was the best tie-in for me. The other ones were really subtle and cool, but like I thought that was the best tie-in, where you see him on the doorstep. He's like, "Help me," and then you see something attack him, and then you go back later. It was an obvious one, but I still thought it was like a good one.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Help. He's like, I don't know what he says, but he says something rude to him or whatever. It was funny.
Screw you.
Yeah, screw you, something like that. Might have been more. I remember it being a little bit more rude than that, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I like this movie. It's like you guys have been saying, it knows what it is, so it doesn't take itself too seriously. And yeah, there's not much more to be said about it. There's nothing deep to the movie. So I kind of turned this one off for that, but I still liked it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not overly thought provoking, right? I mean, even for the sake of the pod, there's really not much to go into like depth and analyze. I think we all just kind of like it for what it is. I'm actually curious of where this thing lands on the entry list, because I genuinely like it, but I don't think it's going to be that high on the entry list.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think
But like I
that's
said,
kind of-
I'll watch it every Halloween, man. This is 10 out of 10 for me, dude. For a Halloween movie, this is everything I want. There's gore. It's funny. They
There's
actually
a few good jump
children
scares.
die in
Few
this.
good, yeah, a few good
Right,
jump
so-
scares. Children
For
die.
sure. So
the practical effects all look pretty good actually for
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they're really not that bad. The whole transformation of the werewolves.
yeah, and they actually shed their skin. It's like the old like
like the
werewolf
Van
lore,
Helsing
you know what
style.
I mean? Yeah.
I thought it was
Killer,
really
man.
funny when they were like pulling off their leg skin, but then they'd like stomp their heels down. They'd be like, "So are they keeping those on? Are they like up and like they're keeping like the skirts on from like the cheerleading?"
Yeah.
And like I wish they would have like showed like a full body of it. But I felt like I was going through like a horror like Sailor Moon transformation. But yeah, it's a really, really good scene.
Yeah.
I thought that one was really fun too. That might also be my favorite segment. I don't know. The Sam one's really great as well.
It is.
But yeah, they're both a good time. I think the serial killer dad one is good up until like I remember the first time watching it being genuinely concerned he was going to kill his son, because you don't have really any context for how long he's been killing people, or for like and like his scope that night is insane because he's poisoning every candy.
Yeah.
And then like the ones that aren't poisoned have razor blades in them, and then he's also out just killing people.
Huge kill
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was I just said I thought it was. I've talked about it enough. It's a really fun movie. It knows exactly what it is and who it's for and what it's going to be, and you know that from the first frame.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you think
All right, well, yeah.
killed his wife?
I think that's kind
Maybe.
of the implication.
Yeah, kind of sounds like the implication. I like the reveal where it turns out that his kid's also kind of crazy.
His kids in on
Yeah,
it.
I think the ending of that is definitely the best.
That was a good reveal.
Yeah.
I do like that segment a lot too. I like whoever that actor is. I was looking at him earlier, Dylan Baker, who I couldn't figure out where I knew him from, but then I realized he was Dr. Connors from Spider-Man.
Yeah, original Dr. Connors.
Yeah.
So yeah, big takeaways though, man. Make sure you guys abide by all rules of Halloween.
Apparently.
Right, which did you guys were any of those familiar for you? Like I knew the don't
Honestly,
smash pumpkins, but
that's
like
the only one I knew.
yeah. So like
And I
don't
guess
take
the check your candy one too. That was kind of cliche because he ends up saying
Right.
it when he feeds
You
the kid.
take your decorations down the same night of any holiday.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah, you're a
insane
psychopath.
move, right?
You deserve to die to do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a
100%.
psychopath.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like a lot of work too.
Why-
For sure. That's why you're a psychopath.
He doesn't want to take
Who
down
does that?
decorations, you bitch.
Yeah. I think her excuse was that her sister was coming or something.
Her mother. Her mother
Her
was coming.
mother. Yeah, and she was like, "Why are you taking?" Or it was gonna look bad. But why would she think
Yeah.
that? It's the day after Halloween. No one's gonna
Yeah,
expect
that's-
you to have your stuff gone.
Obviously, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. So what is the rule of thumb on that then? Like, now that we're just
I
kind of
think you
talking
do.
for
I think you
shits
do
and
it the
giggles.
day after. I mean,
Yeah.
You don't
if
have
you're
to.
gonna do anything.
Yeah. I mean, my mom always leaves it up for a little bit.
So does my
Yeah.
mom. But
My mom goes like,
decorations for every single
yeah.
holiday.
That's my
Mhm.
mom's the same way. She goes directly into Thanksgiving though, so it's like this kind of like big old thing. Like, okay, it's day after Halloween, Thanksgiving time, and then as
like
soon as
the orange
Thanksgiving's over,
Reds are still up.
yeah.
Yeah, the pumpkins just go from like purple and green to like orange and red.
What my mom
Mhm.
used to do is just take our carved pumpkins and just turn them around. So,
So they weren't carved.
Yeah, so there was just pumpkin decorations outside, which is our old pumpkins.
It's hilarious.
Right.
That's fun. Yeah, I think. Are we just ready to go to the entry list?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back, listeners who wanted to skip Oilers spoilers. We are going straight into the entry list. For those of you who don't know, the entry list is Back Row Banter's official list of every movie we've ranked so far on the podcast, regardless of genre, all one giant fantastic list. Gentlemen. Oh, and if you're interested in looking at the entry list, it is in the description. So go ahead and check it out. It's on my Letterboxd. Where are you guys putting this? Nathaniel, why don't we lead off with you? We don't lead with you often.
Lead with me. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that
Craig's
and
back.
Jack,
Craig
and Jack
somehow
talking.
found his way back in.
Hey,
Come in here whenever you want. You're not getting paid, you son of a bitch.
So if any longtime
Aggressive.
listeners were curious, there's the now recording sound that we all really enjoy.
I really
Oh,
hope that goes on.
I hope I can be able to
to
get that in there.
Yeah.
Man, this is a tough one.
It is. Big shoes to fill, Nathaniel.
You're starting out.
Yeah.
I think this one's gonna take the slot behind Blind Spotting. This may become our new gatekeeper film in a lot of ways, because we've been talking a lot about how maybe off pod in some ways too, how Blind Spotting's kind of gotten this raw deal of being noticeably better than the rest of the movies, but just not quite cracking that top point. It's been kind of a barometer, but I think this might be the new version of that now, and now we can kind of start putting a little bit of distance between Blind Spotting and King of Staten Island in some ways. So I think slotting it in right at the 13 mark. It's a good number for it. Trick or treat, 13. Little Halloween spooky action in there too.
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. 13's got to be occupied by a horror movie at least, I think. So that's where I'm going with it.
Okay. Why don't you popcorn someone, man?
I will do popcorn. Blake.
I think I'm actually going to be pretty close to what you're saying. I would probably, to be honest, I'd probably put it in front of Blind Spotting. I'd probably put it at 12.
Really?
And Behind the Descent. Yeah, I mean, I'm a horror buff though, man, and this is honestly everything I can ask for a movie like this.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I know it's not the greatest movie. I know it's not a cinematic masterpiece, right? I know everyone's not going to like it, but for what I signed up to watch a horror movie on Halloween, it gives me everything. It doesn't miss a step.
Don't forget Blake's original name on the podcast.
Oh man. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I'll go 12. But still, for the most part, though, still in the same area for sure. So nothing crazy. I'll go ahead and pass it to Adam.
I'm going with Nathaniel here. I'm going 13. I think you're right. I enjoyed it enough. I'd probably enjoyed it a little bit more than Staten Island, even though I still like that more than I think a lot of people did. But 13 seems like a good spot right below Blind Spotting. I think you're, like you said, Nathaniel, I think this can become another little gatekeeper gauge movie to look at to see where we're putting things. So I think this is going to start building up the middle of the list a little bit. Ty?
Honestly, on like a really, really, really good day, like if I was gonna put this on like my list, I think this would probably become like 10 for me because I think I'd rather watch this than 10 it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't disagree with you on that.
And I think it comes really close for me to beating Insidious. But I think as far as like the overall like entry list goes, I was also probably going to say a safe bet is 13. It definitely doesn't go any lower than that.
Agreed.
But yeah, Nathaniel pretty much kind of hit the nail on the head for me. I think this is a good way to put some room in between Blind Spotting and the rest of the list because I feel like it literally goes from like movies that I would prefer to watch like every day to like movies that I would just prefer not to watch.
Yeah, it's like A, B tier all the way.
Like I said,
immediately.
this is going to be added a little bit more to the middle of the list, which has been lacking a little bit. In some
like I said, like the whole point of this list is to keep growing, and I think that by the time we're done with this, Blind Spotting is going to hold a really high spot still, given what we're all going to watch probably. But yeah, I think 13 is probably a safe bet for me.
Oh, we're cursed with this podcast forever. Like it can't end. Otherwise, we start dying one by one. That's I shouldn't have rubbed that genie lamp before we holded that monkey's paw.
I'm a bitch.
Yeah, all sorry to bring that on you guys now, but
all right. Well, looks like I think that's a majority agrees on 13, so I think that's where it's going to slot down. Sorry, Blake.
Yeah, that's cool with me though, man. I don't mind it.
All right, cool. All right, let's move on here then. Our next topic. Our next.
Be excited for our next topic.
No, man, I was just out of breath. I was talking.
Oh,
I just needed some air.
I got you.
We're good though. We're good.
Let's get a deep cleansing group breath in. Just everyone in, head out. There we go.
I did it for my nose, so I don't know if I got picked up, but I did it.
Listeners, I hope you enjoyed that with us, and let's get on to our next topic. What's it going to be?
Yeah. So, well, you guys can look forward to a little special episode. Our Halloween special is going to be the double episode of Halloween and the 2018 Halloween sequel.
Surprise, trick or treat. We'll wait and see.
There's going to be another bit of a double review here. They're similar to how we did with The Purge and The Strangers. Kind of going to be going through them and reviewing them a little bit both. Not necessarily compare and contrast, but just kind of seeing where they weigh out, comparing them to each other, and then we'll put both those on the entropy list as well. And then for our regular episode next week, because that will be live on Halloween, Saturday, the 31st. Then for next week's episode, it's going to be Borat Subsequent Moviefilm, the Borat sequel that just came out on the 23rd. So we'll be about a week and a half late-ish from the release to our review, but it'll also be a relatively new release. So go ahead and check that out. And yeah. Do you guys?
We're officially out of October, so if you've been,
we're gonna take a break from the horror.
Sadly,
not just a horror movie podcast, although it might seem like that.
We'll get back to horror. I'm not gonna wait. We're not gonna wait all the way again to next October to get into horror again. We'll be splashing in horror every once in a while for sure.
Yeah, we'll find a way to get 30 Days of Night on here.
Of course.
And we'll probably find a way to get Midsummer on here realistically. Those are probably just the two off the top of my head that we'll probably get on here in the coming months.
Yeah. All right. Nathaniel, do we have a 5-star review?
I do not believe that we do.
Do you not believe, or do you know?
I know so.
Okay. Well, if a listener is interested, what do they get for leaving a 5-star review?
I was going to tell you about this, Ash, because we haven't gotten a new one in a while. And if anyone is wondering how to best get your voice on the podcast, or at least some facsimile of your voice, it's to give us a 5-star review. You can say anything you want. It just has to be a 5-star review. And then I will say it. And then we'll talk about it. We'll have a good laugh. It'll be like you're right here with us.
The issue is, Nathaniel, I think you can only leave one review. So some people want to leave more than one review. If you want to contact us for any reason, that's what the email is for, which will be in the episode description, but it's backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. If you would like to contact us, and if you've already left a review, feel free to send us an email.
Or leave another review on YouTube.
Or comments, reviews. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
any of
There
that
are
stuff.
plenty
We'll
of ways.
take it.
There are plenty of ways. Well, while we don't have a 5-star review, we do have an email from the Waz.
Ooh,
Frequent
Waz is
listener,
checking in
frequent
again.
Oh, hey there, bud.
writer. He says, "It's been a while, gentlemen. So I went on vacation and mass listened to the last 3 pods, and I believe it was with the Descendants or the Strangers versus the Purge episodes. But y'all talked about Asian horror, and it's been brought up in the past. The subtitles don't matter. I'm curious though if you think having to pause, either mentally or literally, to read the subtitles takes you out of the film enough to soften the horror's effect."
It's a good question.
That is a good
In
question.
some ways, I think after a while, if you get used to subtitles and everything, you can
You're
kind of
skimming.
speed read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like like where the ifs, the ands, the buts, you know where all those are gonna be.
Yeah,
So yeah, you really start to pick up
you,
on
you start to
subtitles.
piece it together a lot better.
I will actually say if you turn on subtitles even for English dubs, like for anything, just have subs on. It'll help you get into the rhythm, and then when you do watch actual foreign stuff, it is a lot easier to read through.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've kind of forced that on Tyler as,
Yeah,
since
you say
we've
you
been
watch
living
everything
together.
with sub.
For the
Yeah.
most part, I watch everything with subs. Yeah. If
I
I've
have
seen it,
started doing that as well.
if I've seen it enough times, I'll do it. Like A Knight's Tale, I can watch without subs because I know every line of that movie. And it's true. I mean, you do lose a little bit when you are reading some. I think if you're looking to get into this is a wild tangent, but if you're attempting to get the best of both worlds, you can kind of train yourself to watch the film and only read the subs if you didn't catch something or if you need to go back, because they'll typically be on there for like a half second, and then you can kind of go back. But to answer Waz's question, I think for most people, having that translation, having to read subtitles, it may take from the horror a little bit too. But I mean, horror is so much more than visual as well. It's a lot of atmosphere, a lot of a lot of things. And if you think about, a lot of great jump scares don't necessarily um, have a spoken component to it or anything like that. There is a lot of visual, and particularly with the J horror stuff too. A lot of that is just the striking visuals as well. And there's a reason that movies are not books. That
Mhm.
the fact that there's a visual element to it, there is something universal about the visual language in some ways. So those things, I think, translate and come over in any language and stuff. So uh, that's kind of my take. You guys feel free to dig a little deeper.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'll touch on that. I do have a hard time with subtitles, especially when I'm watching a movie for the first time, because then I'm too caught in reading the subtitles, right, and not really paying attention to the characters, not paying attention to the background. So, I mean, I certainly do kind of feel what he's saying on that. Um, in terms of some of the J horror stuff, I don't know if that's really the disconnect. Like I said last time, I think it's more of just a cultural disconnect, to be honest, where those things just don't. Are we getting it again?
Yeah, we're fine, I think.
Thank you.
Who knows,
Um,
man?
yeah, I think it's more of a cultural disconnect for me, where just a lot of those things just culturally aren't scary to me. But it's I'm trying to work through that. Like I said, I mean, I know Audition is one I really want to try to get to. Unfortunately, that's something I have to watch with the subtitles though, and that's just
Yeah.
a very, very long movie. But it was really interesting. But I'm sure, like Nathaniel said, with time and practice, you'll be able to kind of skim through some of those things and know when you need to be reading things and when you don't need to be reading them. So it's kind of something I got to work on.
Yeah. Uh, I watch movies with subtitles on exclusively now as well, since Nathaniel kind of put me onto that, and I have loved it. I do recommend doing that. Actually, I think I get a lot more out of it. You miss a lot of stuff that you probably don't think you miss without subtitles, but there's lines you maybe missed or background stuff that isn't always audible. Or because I was watching.
Particularly with TVs. I feel like if you're in a movie theater, it's a lot easier too because you have a over $1 million
sure.
sound system around you generally, so you can get
Unless you're watching Tenet. Then no.
yeah,
It
unless
doesn't
you're
matter where
watching
you're watching it.
any
If you're
Christopher
watching
Nolan
Tenet,
movie.
just bring some earplugs. Can't hear shit.
Yeah, you might be better off. All right.
But yeah, thank you, Wallace, for the correspondence. Continue to do so. It's a good time.
Of course. Well, I think that's gonna bring us to the end of the show here. Please share the podcast, guys. We'd love to grow, and we can't do so without your help because word of mouth is key, is it not?
Absolutely.
It is.
Communication is key as well.
Facts,
That is also true.
big facts. That's been relationship advice with the boys.
Our new segment.
New segment. Yeah, so if you want to find the show, just follow us on our social medias and stuff. We got Twitter's going to be at Banter Row. Our Instagram is at Back Row Banter Pod. Our YouTube is just Back Row Banter. And then if you want to contact us for any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, things you want answered or clarified, anything really, go ahead and do so at backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. But BlakeHolder, man, where can the people find you at?
Letterboxd will be on there, log some stuff, putting some reviews into some films I hold dearly to my heart. I don't know what the next one will be. I only got one of Hereditary on there. And then the Letterboxd is my name. So that's Blake. Last name's Holder. It's Holder. And that's really it. Actually, in hindsight now, I might see if I'll do one for the original Halloween.
Ooh, okay.
Just because that's a pretty classic movie, and I'm big on that genre as well. So yeah, that's about it for me. We'll go we'll pass them on to Tyler.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm Tyler.
Tyler,
I've
Little
actually
Birdie told me that you've been streaming.
I have been streaming. I think I've streamed 2 or 3 times in the last week. So yeah, you can go look that up. That's at twitch.tv/El Trabajo, ELTRABAJO 87. And then Letterboxd, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me at Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. Popcorn Nathaniel.
What up, everyone? And you can always find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at NSGingrich and at Instagram at NathanielG92. Also, be sure to follow and check out my other podcasts, which is known as the Sandpiper Tapes. Just had episode 4 drop recently, and then the last episode of the season is going to drop on Halloween. So be ready for that. You can always find that at the Sandpiper Tapes Pod on Instagram and Sandpiper Tapes on Twitter. You'll be able to see it there. Yeah.
Cool, man. Please go check out the podcast, guys. The link will be in the description. It's awesome.
Adam, where can we find you?
Hey, man, I was getting there.
Yeah, man. Where can we find you? Where are you going?
I am on Twitter if you want to find me at amschwartzy. That's the same for my Letterboxd. And then on Twitch, I'm at Aish. I will probably not stream much because I'm busy, but once COD comes out, that will change. So stay tuned.
The boys are back in town.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I will be back in a few short weeks, guys. And it's going to be crazy. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for episode 22. That's going to be it for the review of Trick or Treat. Yeah, check out the Halloween episode, our Halloween special. And catch us next week for Borat Subsequent Moviefilm. I love the title of that.
It's
All right. We'll be we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other and we'll BRB.
Thanks for listening. Pass it on. Also, just tell somebody you love them. BRB.
And I don't have anything clever, to be honest with you guys, but I might have something clever for the Halloween episode. So BRB.
Ooh.
Hey, Ty.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
I love you too, dog.
America. another lesson.
Are you ready to kick it off, Adam? Aish?
Aishi Beishi.
The Aish Foundation. I think we've lost him, boys.
Hold
Okay,
on.
bye.
I'm trying to order. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, we'll hang on.
I think we'll just hang on.
Hanging.
Oh, don't call pass interference on that. Terrible play.
Well, there's the start of the episode.
All right. What the fuck were you guys saying? Stop talking shit.
I don't know if we actually were, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
If anything, we're talking shit about the refs at this Bears.
We were talking about football.